Ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to First Reflections, where I react to stuff and try to be entertaining at the same time. The esteemed Council of Comments has spoken! And by unanimous vote, it looks like we're going to be continuing with the reactions, which is really good because I love doing these, you guys love watching them, so yeah, we should have a lot of fun here. And luckily, I don't have to worry about spoilers like sneaking up behind me and poking me in the back every 2 seconds because we're done with the leaked episodes. There was only 2, they were shown at that festival, and now we're just gonna get them released one by one and we can just enjoy them one at a time. We can make our theories, make our reactions. I'm gonna be doing theories eventually, don't worry. It's just, I've got some really big projects that I wanna finish this week that's gonna come out next week, and once that's over, I can probably do some proper theories. It'll be fun. But for now, we have episode 3, and not only is it starring our favorite Bill Cipher Muppet Baby King, but it's also going to be shedding some light on his origin story, which is something that has been hotly debated in the fandom pretty much since the first episode. No one can really make heads or tails of exactly what King is or where exactly he came from. Like, was he actually kaiju-sized at some point, or has he always been pocket-sized? Is he related to the Titan? Is he not related to the Titan? Is he the Titan? It's like, so many theories have popped up, so many people have been wondering exactly what King is, and while I don't think we're going to be getting his full story in this episode, we're at least going to get a couple hints at exactly where he came from, and maybe that'll come into play later on in the season as, like, we learn more about the Titan and the Isles and where all this stuff is coming from. So let's not waste any more time, we have the episode description right here, Echoes of the Past. King's delusions of grandeur lead Luce, Lilith, and Hooty to a dangerous new island. So just like the majority of the fandom, I really like King. He's a cool little dude, he's got some really funny moments. I personally think Alex Hirsch's Bill Cipher voice actually works better for a cute little munchkin like him, and his filler episodes are actually some of the better in the series, like Sense and Sensitivity and Really Small Problems. They're not like masterpieces or anything, but they're really fun to watch, and you know, he makes a great protagonist and all that kind of stuff. I'll admit sometimes his humor can get like a little repetitive with like him always wanting power. It's like, oh, I'm gonna be a teacher so I can get power, or I'm gonna go to the playground so I can get power, but later on he learns that there's more to life than just constantly regaining power because, you know, he's forming friendships with Luce and Ida, and he's learning that there are more things to life than just constantly gaining power. It's not so much about who you were, or he thinks he was, because, you know, remember, he thinks he was a gigantic monster at one point. It's not exactly about getting back to who you were, it's more about who you are now, and I think what he is now is just a good friend to Luce and Ida, and I think he's slowly starting to realize that. In this episode, I'm not only hoping for a dump of lore, but also a dump of feels, considering that this is going to be King's backstory and everything like that. I'm hoping to get some real good emotions from him. We've gotten good emotions in the past, like for example, when he was talking with Luce in The Intruder and he kind of poured his heart out to her. I thought that was really sweet. But this episode is just prime for King emotion and King development, and I just really hope that they take full advantage of that. Also, based on the description, it seems like this is going to be a full Owl House crew episode, so all 5 members of the Owl House are going to be in this episode: Luce, Ida, King, Lilith, and Hooty, and they're all going to be going on this adventure together, which means hopefully we'll be getting some good dialogue exchanges. We'll get to see everyone react to King's origins and like maybe see all what they think of it and everything like that. And considering that Hooty is going to be going on this adventure, I think this is going to be the episode where we're finally going to see him in that little birdhouse backpack that we saw in the trailer, which means Hooty is officially mobile, and now he can pretty much go anywhere, which means we're going to be getting a lot more Hooty moments that are not just restricted to the Owl House, and I'm super excited about that because you know how much I love Hooty, but I'm not going to let Hooty like overshadow King this episode. This is his episode, his origin. I really want to see what's going to happen to him. I'm really hoping they do some interesting stuff with this character. Okay, so let's stop yapping and get right to the goods. We're going to get started right now in 3, 2, 1, go! Haha, there's young Ida. Okay. Well, I hope you know a good magical tailor. Oh. Okay. Alright, you're just gonna cut to the intro like that? You're not even gonna show us what it is? Alright. Well, you got my attention at least. Light, but also power, reflection, color, College notes in a nutshell. We will overthrow the human meatbags and usher in a new era of fluffy dominance. Aww.
It's sweet and fresh, just like my best friend in the whole world.
Whoa. Invisibility glyphs, huh? Alright, it's pretty cool. The Luce is a spy.
If I died in your arms tonight,
historically, demons have never been united.
it must have been some kind of toy.
There's no
Yeah, we're gonna see just how accurate that story is in this episode, right?
That was up top. I remember plenty.
Ooh, someone get a fire glyph, because he just got burned.
Being me, it's me. Your dedication to this
No matter how deadly of an emperor you become, you'll always be adorable
Don't blame
puppy
me
king.
for your
Wait, he did that? I thought that was like an open heart surgery thing that like Ida did, but he could just dislodge himself like that? Ugh. Wait, what's that? Is that a freaking flying bathtub? When'd you have the time to make that?
humor is infectious.
In the same way your adorable friendship is infectious. What the heck is that? looks like a monolith.
Is
Sugarite? It better be.
Yeah, but eating your best friend is not recommended. You might get diabetes. Ooh,
carvings.
that guy's got a pretty sick beard. Maybe that's supposed to be King's dad.
Well,
Boys, it's time for the fleshy guardian boomerang head things to show up. Haha, get spiked.
you may admire. but
Don't mess with Lilith and her glyphs.
Miss me?
So that's the thing that attacked her in the past. Okay, that makes sense. Oh, here we go. Backstory.
It's time.
Baby King! Wow, that squeak probably broke the microphone. I'm so sorry, everybody.
King.
Oh, that was his first word too? Aww. No, he's crying now. Aw, the one thing I didn't want this season.
Even
Aw.
though I knew.
We'll find him.
I'm telling you, I think there's a little bit more to his story. Like, it can't just all be a mirage. Like, maybe he's like descended from powerful monsters or something. It can't just be that it was all a lie. It can't all be a lie.
Can't tell what's real and what's fake.
Oh, King. Oh, poor baby. I want to reach through the screen and hug you, but I
One
can't.
of your memories is
Only truths, I promise.
Good. Real friends are honest with each other. You guys got to tell each other the
we
truth.
have
Good.
one more.
You sure they'll be
Sup, witches, you ready to tango? Cause I'm packing. Bam!
nothing here?
Don't judge appearances. Well, whenever there's an empty room, there's almost always something in it. Are those King's egg shards? Was that where he was hatched? Yeah, that was where he was hatched. Oh, this is King just being born. Was the little fleshy thing his mama?
Yeah. Too
Oh, so if
bad.
he's not in the ruins, then he just turns into like a lifeless statue. Okay. Yeah, sorry, I'm not kissing that decaying fleshy statue thing. You're gonna have to do it yourself. Bye.
Never seen
No matter what.
All right, the mystery is just getting good. Okay, so that was Echoes from the Past. That might be my favorite episode of the season so far. I know there's not a lot of stiff competition. There's only really been 3 episodes, but that episode was phenomenal. Like, absolutely phenomenal. Like, might even blow the other 2 out of the water level of phenomenal. The buildup in the atmosphere was fantastic. Everything was just so like gloomy and mysterious. And at the very beginning, we get like a little bit of a prologue. It's like Ida's landing on this island. What is she doing on this island? What's this thing lunging at her? And they didn't even give you a glimpse. They just immediately cut to the intro. Fantastic job. Awesome atmosphere. And then when they're actually inside of the temple, you got all like the statues and the fleshy tendrils like coming down. And you're wondering like, is something gonna pop out? Is something gonna become alive? You know, why are there so many of those statues and everything like that? Why, when the statues fell down, is he like replacing it? It's like, is that his dad? It's not his dad, by the way. That fleshy tendril guy, he called him John Luke. That's like more of his servant or like his butler or caretaker or something. So it's not his dad, but something that his dad created to kind of like watch over him in his stead. So now I know that the internet is just going to be buzzing with theories over who exactly King's dad could be. I have my own predictions just based on what I saw. If you saw my original trailer breakdown, I talked about how Belos and the Titan might be making a deal, like maybe Belos is trying to help to resurrect the Titan by constantly feeding it magic, and that's what the Day of Unity is going to be all about, where it's like he's going to get all the witches in one place and kind of suck all their magic up to fully resurrect the Titan, because when the Titan died, that's how the magic like kind of leaked into the world and why all the witches and everything were going to use magic, because of the dead Titan. But the Titan maybe thinks like, oh, the witches are using all my magic for like the wrong things and everything like that. We got to put a stop to this. We got to suck all the magic out of them, put me back to life. I got to be in charge. I got to command these people, show them how magic should be done and all that kind of stuff. And considering that Belos kind of has the same fleshy tendril magic like in the basement of his palace and also that he uses, part of me likes to think that maybe the Titan is actually King's dad. I know that there were a lot of murals of like a big buff monster with like, you know, a spear, like a Herculean warrior monster that looks exactly like King. I think that the Titan basically made those pictures as sort of like a mask, you know, as a way to sort of say, hey, this is what your dad was like. He was a big, strong monster fighter. Wasn't he powerful? Wasn't he awesome? And all that kind of stuff. When in reality, the Titan was actually his dad. And he created John Luke, that little like fleshy butler, to kind of watch over him because he knew he was going to die soon and all that kind of stuff. I don't know. I'm going to give this episode a much closer look, and I might get a theory out before the next episode. There's no promises because I got some big projects I want to do, but this episode is so freaking interesting. There's so many angles to kind of like pull theories from. So I'm going to be making like a big complex theory about Belos and the Titan making a deal, and it's going to include like, you know, King's origins and where the magic came from and what the Day of Unity is. There's going to be just one gigantic Belos theory because I got so much going in my head about exactly what Belos is up to and how King and the Isle ties into that. Aside from that, though, there were a bunch of other really great stuff, too. Just like I was hoping, we got a lot of really great character interactions because pretty much the entire gang was here. Hooty was on the freaking ball with this one. Like, he had so many awesome lines, so many awesome jokes. Lilith got to use him as like a potion bazooka at the very end. Hooty is freaking killing it this season, and I'm so glad he is because you guys know I love Hooty so freaking much. I think this reaction might break the record for most Hooty jokes that I've done in a single reaction. I think I did like 5 or 6 Hooty impressions, but he deserves it. He's so freaking awesome, and I'm so glad he's in the birdhouse now. Hopefully they'll be taking him on a lot more adventures, and we'll be having a lot more fun with him because I love Hooty to death. I think Alex Hirsch's performance as King was fantastic in this episode. I knew he was going to have at least one really big, like, emotional breakdown scene and all that kind of stuff, where he was just going to be crying, and, you know, he was questioning reality, and he didn't know what was real and what was not anymore, and everybody was lying to him, and he was just absolutely losing it. When he was crying to Luce and all that kind of stuff, that just tore me up. That might have been the best performance in the season so far. I know I keep saying like best in the season. I know there's only 3 episodes, but so far Echoes of the Past is just like whole nother caliber. This is like on a whole nother level. The other 2 were great, but this is like to the moon. This is like to Mars freaking how good it was. I really like the mystery. I really like the emotion. I really like the lore. Pretty much everything in this episode was just absolutely spot on. I also really like how they're showing more combinations of glyphs and all those kinds of things, the ways that they can kind of monitor them. I was a little confused in the second episode where it's like, oh, that's the 4 things that you're going to be using, just light, fire, plant, and ice. That you're going to get a bunch of spells out of that. But then they got a new one where like invisibility glyph, where you basically put it on yourself and you got to hold your breath, which actually makes a lot of sense because when you're doing invisibility, you're trying to be stealthy. And to be honest, if you're breathing or talking, that's going to kind of give away the illusion. So the idea that you got to hold your breath means that you won't be making any noise with your mouth anyway, which makes sense because then you'll be able to move around more stealthily. That actually makes total sense. I'm not really sure why they decided to bring John Luke home, the fleshy butler guy. I mean, he even said that he's just kind of going to sit there until they go back to the temple, unless they're going to go back to the temple at some point, or maybe they'll find some way to bring him back to life that won't involve the temple. But he's kind of just going to sit there as just like a knickknack in the room. But I don't know. Maybe he'll come into play later. We'll have to see. Baby King was the absolute cutest thing ever. Like that is not plushie please, that is plushie now. Like, you better make freaking Baby King into a plushie. I will pay top dollar for that. He's so freaking adorable with like the big eyes and a little head and like the precious little voice and everything like that, making little minions and little like subjects out of trash. He's so freaking, he's even cuter than the original, which I didn't even think was possible. And it's also kind of adds another extra layer to King and Ida's relationship, where we actually get to see how she adopted him and took care of him all those years. It's super adorable, super nice. But I am glad that at the end they both agreed, hey, no more keeping secrets from each other. You know, we're both adults, or I don't know, is King an adult? He kind of seems like he's supposed to be adult age, but he kind of acts like a kid, or maybe he's a teen. I don't really know. Maybe monster years are different, but you know, it's like we're both mature. You know, we both got to make sure we don't keep secrets from each other. You got to tell me the honest truth, even if it's going to make me feel bad, you know, because we're friends, and friends got to trust each other and all that kind of stuff. So they came to that understanding. That was great, but it was really adorable to see exactly how Ida found King and, you know, all the things that she did to kind of take care of him. That was fantastic, adorable, absolutely adorable. So yeah, this is a top tier episode without question. Everything about this episode was fantastic. The lore was great, the character interactions were great, the atmosphere was great, the location was great, the jokes were great, everything in this episode was great. This is easily a 10 out of 10 episode, and my favorite so far. I know there's only been 3, but this is just a fantastic episode so far. I cannot wait to like look at this deeper and see what I missed, because I know there are probably a couple things that I missed. But either way, yeah, this was a fantastic episode. They did King well, they did everybody well. well, and I'm looking forward to seeing exactly where this story's gonna go, because every episode we get some interesting reveals, so I'm just gonna have to see what happens next. So yeah, thank you all for joining me. I apologize if this reaction is a little bit on the later side, but I had a little bit of things to do this weekend, but I hope this was worth it. I'm gonna be doing theories again. I told you I got a big Belos theory coming and stuff like that, so I will be doing theories again, don't worry. But for now, this episode was fantastic. I'm so glad I got to watch this with you guys, and I can't wait for next week. We'll see what happens next. So thank you all for joining me. I hope you had a fantastic day, and I'll see you next week. Bye.